How is everyone doing today? Welcome in, friend. Got some stuff over here I need to finish. I have so much going on in my life right now. How is everyone doing this Monday morning? Hello. I'm putting the chat up in the background. Let's see. Oh man, just a little bit. See if we can straighten things up a little bit there, okay? Um, if you are here, please go ahead and let me know if you can both see and hear. Good morning, Marianne and Kaylin and Terry and Nicole. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Great, you can see and hear. Why does this look so crooked all the time? I tell you, I struggle with the straightness of this camera on a regular basis for some reason. There, that's a little bit better, I guess. I don't know. Anywho, so everybody's here. Great. Everybody can see and hear. How are you this morning? How is everyone's World Watercolor Month going? Have you been pacing yourself and tackling prompts? Do jump in the chat. Let me know. I'm excited to finish shooting the little project we started last night in World Watercolor and Watercolor Sunday Fun Day. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, there's that thing. I was looking for this. So go ahead, grab your supplies. We're going to get started shortly. Today we are doing July's watercolor calendar. Yes, we did glaze right past June. I honestly forgot about it. I started doing June though. I'll show you guys a glimpse real quick before we get started. I'm putting together I am shooting it as a video, but I haven't finished it. But I started it. So I did start June. So this will come out as a video here on YouTube at some point just to make up for the fact that we hadn't done June's calendar. It's going to get around to being finished eventually. I have so much going on. I've got to finish everything Palm Street. It is really hard sometimes when it's just me. And I don't ever say that for sympathy. I just say that because it's the truth. Um, and dividing this between the fact that I do work a regular 9 to 5 too, that's pretty demanding. In all honesty, some of you guys know that. Yeah, sometimes I want to pull my hair out, but Palm Street is wrapping up everything. The gouache class, all shipments, is all wrapping up no later than tomorrow. I'm trying to get myself ready for July Palm Street sale as well. Um, and I need to finish the commission sketchbook. So today is going to be a pretty busy day to me. So we're not going to keep too long today. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. I'll check the chat real quick. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. That it will eventually come out as a video here on YouTube. So today, good morning, my artsy friends. Happy Monday morning. Welcome to our regular scheduled Monday morning meetup. Hopefully, you all are doing well. Um, you're in a creative mood and you have been enjoying this month of creation we've been going through. So, today we are going to be tackling July 2026 Light Wish Watercolor Calendar, and we're going to be tackling a World Watercolor prompt at the same time. Now, today is the 13th of July, and the prompt is spicy. So that's what we're actually going to be attempting. Now, here is a little traceable of what we're painting today. This has already been posted over in the creation station level of the Defiant Art through Patreon. So much to keep up with. Patreon community as a download, so you have access to that traceable. I have had it on the screen since we went live, just in case you wanted to go ahead and kind of trace it out, sketch it out real quick. And I'm going to leave it there as I continue to go through what we're going to be using. Excuse me, one quick second. My sinuses are bothering me this morning, so. Okay, we are going to be painting on the Light Wish calendar, of course. I've already transferred my traceable to my calendar and kind of taped it off to protect the words on it. You can paint on whatever you want to. This is 100% cotton, 140-pound cold pressed acid free paper. You use whatever substrate is going to be suitable for whatever medium you're choosing to paint with. Painting with Phoenix Artist Quality Watercolor. This is their Twist Pocket Set. Classic tones. I just like this. It's all 48 of the colors put into this really cute twistable palette. And I just like using the palette in all honesty. Phoenix watercolors are decent. They're about cotton quality, so you can use whatever paints you want. I'm just letting you know I'm not using anything that's professional. This is artist grade paint. And now that I've pulled it out, I'm wondering if I'm even going to have room on the disc, but we'll see. And I'm also going to grab these brushes that I have been using throughout World Watercolor Month. It's just a set of golden taklon brushes. I just happen to like the handles, nothing too crazy. I'll grab some black fine liners, and I think that's gonna be all I need. Okay, so here are the thingamajigs we're using today, just so you can get a real quick look. And of course, we're not going to be using the entire 48 color range. We're just going to be using a couple colors. I'm going to try to keep it to those that are a little bit more transparent because we will be doing some glazing. Today's project is pretty simple, so we are going to be able to pay attention to detail, which elevates the complication with the piece. All right, so there you have it. Go ahead and get yourself situated. I'm going to check the chat really quick, and then we are going to get started. I'm going to continue to leave it on screen until we get started, just in case somebody needs to sketch it out. I have some bleed proof white here as well. And I do have my heating tool, in my case, hair dryer, plugged up so that we can dry in between layers really quick. And I have my coffee. Aha. Hello, Kimmy. How are ya? Let's see here. Let's get this put together as I check the chat. Let me see. What am I missing? Mm. Yes, I need a Christian bag. So this little palette, I did a review on this thing way back when, but the little palette comes with the complete range of Phoenix half pans in it. It has a water cup that's attached to the bottom so that you can paint on the go. There is also a brush. Hold on. There's also a another little compartment here. Hold on, I gotta get it out. There's a sponge in the bottom, and then there's also a travel brush, which I've never used. You know what? Let's use that today. Let's pull this baby off. That sheathing on it was pretty good. Gorgeous, sort of white head Teflon brush. Looks to be about, if I had to guess, I'd put that at about a number 8 or 10. Um, no printing on the barrel, has a hole in the bottom for oxygen to circulate to dry. Let's wash the sizing out of that. I can't believe I've never used this brush. It's kind of cute. So I'm just gonna, well, it's not very tight, but throw that over there. But yeah, so all of these little doodads come up under one of the little twisting components, and you just put it back on when you're done with it. I just want to show you guys that. So all of this, and I did link this in the video description. Now the thing is, I was looking for, um, I was looking for, let's see, red, yellow. I was looking for the 48 set, but the only thing I can find on Amazon at the moment is 36 count set. So I did put that. Um, I did put the 36 count set in the video description just in case somebody wanted to grab it. And it's only three of these little twisting compartments. The complete range comes in four, which is, I think I may have picked this up like right when they were releasing these twistable palettes. So there we go. There's a configuration I could work with. Let's get this party started. We're going to start off with some fine lining. I'm going to grab a 0.25 or 0.35 fine liner. Anything that small will work. I think I'm going to do the 0.35 for the body, and I'll do the 0.25 for the tops. And this is pretty straightforward. You're just going to go through and fine line your project. You can do this after you paint if you want to. You could choose not to do this at all, completely on you. I just think it helps to add a little definition to a composition that's so simple. And I'm trying to pull the stroke from my shoulder. The thing is, I shouldn't lift my pen like I do. But hey, we make it work the best we can, right? And I'm trying not to turn it too much. You would love to see everyone's house. You mean from last night? Mine is still in progress. I didn't start finishing any of it because I told you guys I would shoot an extra video to show you what direction I went in with it, especially when it came to adding the color pencil portion. So I still need to, that's one of the projects I've got to work on today, other than the live we have coming up this evening. So, excuse me, my throat is really scratchy, so You guys are just gonna have to bear with me today. You didn't outline your house, you just start painting. That's fine. I mean, you can always outline it later if you want to. There's no rule that says you have to outline it. I just did mine ink and wash style. So she suggests in the book, but just like, you know how I am, especially when it comes to making something your own. I say go for it. I'm switching over to the 2.5, the 0.25 to do the top portions, just so I have thinner line. And I know my hand is probably in that way. I do apologize for that. Let me see if I could turn this a different. Well, maybe if I lift it, you guys will be able to see better. Now, I wouldn't normally suggest drawing like this, but I do want to make sure that you're able to see what I'm doing. Basically, putting the caps on each of the peppers. And this is nothing like groundbreaking, but it's a great representation for the prompt spicy. And of course, my goal throughout World Watercolor Month has been to show you that you can tackle the actual prompts given without putting too much pressure on yourself or having to change anything, because you can make it very personal. So personal that it might not even seem like you're painting the prompt sometimes. This is pretty easy, all right? Couple peppers, like so. All right. We'll get it a second just to make sure that the ink is dry, and then we're gonna jump right in. I have the soft sheet here just so I can make reference to the color palette because I don't know what's what. Um, we'll do a progression. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peppers. So we can do 2, 2, 2. We can do red, yellow, and green peppers. I think that'll be cool. Kind of let them the colors kind of merge a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. All right, check in the chat. Uh, I'm gonna show you guys. So in Patreon, I'll show you what we're working on in Patreon. So last night in Patreon, we had Watercolor Sunday Fun Day. And Watercolor Sunday Fun Day is one of the videos, or should I say, excuse me, one of the series that you have access to in the Creation Station that happens twice a month. It's a live where we play around with some type of water soluble product to do a project. Well, last night we started on a project from this book. It is called Happy Houses, or the Happy House edition of Whimsical Watercolor and How to Draw series by Karen Campbell. And it's full of all of these whimsical, really cute type of houses. And it was a really great way to approach the prompt whimsical, which is one of the World Watercolor Month prompts. So basically, I was just showing them how you can even use outside sources to approach these prompts so they're not super um, intimidating at all. So we went through doing the very first one where we drew the first whimsical house out step by step, adding in the detail, inking everything in, and making a traceable, which here's the traceable we eventually finished for that. And then, of course, talk through transferring it to your watercolors paper or whatever you were going to be painting on. Now, I transferred mine a couple of months back, long before I started doing this Patreon video last night. And it's inside this 100% cotton, 140-pound cold press sketchbook that Nicole sent to me. And this paper is actually really nice. Now, this paper is on Amazon under different branding. You really have to look for the image. It's kind of a dead giveaway based on the image, but that's neither here nor there. So I went in and we colored the first layer of the whimsical house with I use Woomer watercolors because I'm going to be using Woomer colored pencils to finish up because it is a watercolor color pencil mixed media type creation. But this is where we left off, and the next video would pick up on adding the color pencil and all of the shadows and details and all of those good things. So if you are not a member of the Creation Station and projects like that interest you, do find the Patreon link in the video description. You can head on over, click membership options, and check out all of the perks that come along with the Creation Station and join us for some of those really whimsical and fun things we do over there. Sometimes you guys get glimpses of it here on YouTube as well, because I'll do a time lapse of like the just keep painting tutorials. But anywho, all right. So I was just trying to see. Don't forget, if you have any questions, you can throw those in the chat, and if you're watching on replay, you can throw it in the comment section. Um, I haven't seen anybody's house yet. I need to go check the chat to see. All right, let's get started. This should be dry. Let's start with yellow and red. No, I don't want to do it. The bridge color will kind of be orange. So yellow, orange, red. Let's see if we can. I kind of want to do green. Hmm. I don't have anything to mix on because you guys know that's just how my life goes. I'm never truly 100% prepared for anything ever, and I do need a palette to mix on. Uh, so just bear with me 2 seconds. Let me find one. I need to get to doing that behind the scenes, that thrifty real behind the scenes, because I got some stuff I want to share with you guys. And I'm gonna go pick up the new mailbox key today to check the mailbox so I can pick up any trinket trunk mail so that can be a part of the behind the scenes video. That'll be another series. That's another series that comes out in the creation station, just in case anybody was wondering. Okay, this is somewhat clean. So this will somewhat work. Yeah, I don't even have paper towels in here with me. Like I thought I was prepared when I turned on the camera. I really did, guys. But I really wasn't. That's okay. It only takes a second to grab what I need. All right, here we go. I'm going to start off with wetting. Let's grab. We're going to use this brush. Like I said, we're going to give it a shot. Let's clean this up just a little bit real quick, just so I can have extra mixing room if I need it. I'm not sure what paint was in here. It's been a minute since I used this I'm not even quite sure what a top for this little palette is. But there, that's clean enough. We're good. I want to make something shake using this. We'll start off with wetting our first pepper here. And we're going to do a little wetting. Well, we're going to be doing wetting the wet for the first layer in the body. We'll dry really quickly and then see if we need to do glazing. I'm going to try to keep this up. This is a pretty simple composition. So um, let's go with this cad yellow over here. Start with that. And it's going to be pretty wet. Now I'm definitely keeping track of the colors that I use because I want each pepper to kind of transition into the other as far as the overall color scheme goes. Grab a little bit of that straight from the pan. Some saturation in that. And there's enough colors on this palette for me not to have to mix anything. So in order to get a shadow, I'm going to jump right on up to the cad yellow hue. And as you can see how I have very little water in it. I'm not trying to make a puddle of it because this paper is wet and I don't want it to whoosh everywhere. And it's not quite as dark against that one as I want it to be. So let's add a little bit cad orange right next to it. And I want to put it on because my light is going to be coming from this way. So I definitely want to put that in on the shadow side under the cap. Maybe there a little bit in that bend. Clean my brush off and dry it a little bit. I just want to pull. I'm just gonna pull a slight highlight right out of the middle of that. Not anything too dramatic right now. I really feel like I needed a little bit more of that regular CAD in there. Can't really see that highlight thing. All right, let's move on. Next color, we are actually going to use, for the next pepper, we're actually going to use the darker color as the base, that darker yellow. So the yellow you use as the sort of shadow color for this one, you're going to use it as the base for this one. And what was that? That was a little that one and the cad orange next to it. Oh man. Well, that extra quick. So it fell right out of that terrible. So I need to get some pliers for that. All right. And then I'm going to push that color even further to orange, possibly going straight for the orange alone. And it's wet, so I'm just letting it bleed. I'm not trying to control it. It's watercolor. We know how that works. I'm just dropping it in. All right. And the brush isn't bad though. The bristles are, I like the bristles. Just have to get it to stay in the have to take some pliers and kind of push the opening together better. That's unfortunate because it's not a bad brush, but I'm not gonna take the chance of dropping stuff on my project. We can't. I can't have that. So we're gonna switch over and grab another brush here. I'm trying to find one that's appropriate for the project, but I want something synthetic that's not gonna hold too much water, and I have no idea where the round brush for this set is at the moment. I'll grab this. This is a number 5 round. This is one of those transom brushes. Okay, let's see. This one, we're gonna go all in on the orange. Really want to do orange more yellowish color with this one. Probably gonna be doing a glazing layer, so let's just go ahead and get the first layer done real quick. And I'm gonna go in with that cad orange by itself. And then the next step progression in that is vermilion. And you basically basing them all in the same way. Each one is going to progressively get I'm trying to see if I want to go into green. I think I do. I'm gonna base this one in with vermilion. Maybe I should just go ahead and take it into the red instead of jumping in the green. So I'm basing this one in with just straight vermilion. And what we're doing now is kind of painting the smooth part of each pepper. And from vermilion, we would go to cad red pale. That's not a big enough jump. We're going to go over to cad red hue. And have to be careful with this one because of the way it turns. It goes back towards where the light source is coming from. I'm gonna check the comment section as soon as I get the base layer in. And this isn't looking like it's gonna be worth anything yet, but don't worry, we're gonna get there. It's gonna pretty much wrap itself up in the next layer. And I'm gonna base this one in. I just decided to keep them in the same color family. Why not? Just let it progress to red. Okay. Now I need to do quite a jump again. I need to go no higher than the leather and crimson. Because then we're starting to get away from where I want to be. So let's stick with one progression up. And we'll even start to throw in a little ultramarine here and there if we need to. And then the final one. And that, I'm just going to step up to the next color. That's why I mixed it into the base. the dark of that one. There's somebody outside counting down for some reason. Hope we're not about to reach Armageddon or nothing. You never know. Some of everything goes on over here. All right, and to that, I'll take it a step up and then touch ultramarine like I did before. And hopefully I can remember all these original colors so that once I go in and start doing the glazing, it won't look weird, but we'll see, right? So here we go. We got the start of some peppers. It didn't look like it's anything too exciting. Don't you worry yourself. They typically have green caps on them, so let's go ahead and get those caps painted in. I want it to look as natural as possible, so I'm going to go for sap green. Let's see. That's so sap is going to be here. And they don't all have like completely sap green caps. Some of them have olive green. Some of the caps are more brown looking. I'm gonna do sap. And let's do, I thought I saw Hooker's green. I did. So, 1, 2, 3. That's Hooker's green dark. So I'm gonna grab Hooker's green dark and use that for some shadow in there. Let's do the next one the same way real quick. Well, you know what? Let's skip one. Let's not do the next one the same way. Let's skip one. And because we're just kind of playing with imagination at the moment, let's do this next one the same way. That sap green in. And I'm going to grab, without rinsing my brush, I'm going to just go directly into that Hooker's deep and kind of get some preliminary shadow in there. Okay. Let's see if we can find some. Do we have an olive in here? Yes, we have an olive right next to the sap. So let's use this olive, and we're gonna still use Hooker's Green Deep for the shadow. We're not gonna change that up because we can always add ultramarine to that. Let's go in from this side and grab that Hooker's Green Deep again, going straight from the pan. And down the bend of this curve because we're gonna have just kind of let it bleed out, let it do what it wants to do. It's watercolor, keep that in mind. All right, see, do another one with this olive green, just keep cohesion. Let's do this little baby in the middle here. All right, and then we'll go directly in Hooker's Green Deep. And those colors kind of mix a little bit there, which is just fine. And once again, we're doing the areas that would be in shadow. Okay. Heading over for brown. I want something a little bit more earthy and natural for these next two. So something a little greeny and brown. So I'm gonna grab this raw sienna color. And this yellow ochre. I'm gonna grab some raw sienna. Love raw sienna. So transparent. Um, definitely more transparent than yellow ochre. And I'm gonna mix into that a little olive green. Use a little bit more water on that brush. And some olive. A little bit more raw sienna because I want it to be more browny than green. Uh, but I mix some of that olive green into it just to use that olive green in another place. And then I'm gonna, I think I need to mix ultramarine in to a little bit of it in order to start to get some shadow for that. It's gonna look a little dead. It's fine. Come back and clean it up. It's gonna be just fine. Paint got a little thick on me then. Added a little water to that. If your paint gets a little thick on you, ever just touch your tip of your brush in the water and keep right painting. It'll help loosen it up a little bit. without diluting it too much. I do that sometime instead of adding more water to my mixture. I didn't have enough. I have to be so careful with adding that ultramarine to it. I don't want to push it too dark. Just want to be able to tell the difference between what's the shadow and what's not. Cause that color this color, although it's pretty, it looks like it can get muddy real quick. All right, let's dry all this and then we'll add on a glazing layer and final details. All we really need to do is add a shadow. It's not going to be too much more left. So I'm going to dry this real quick, check chat, and then we'll move right along. Oh, let's see. Oh, I missed a lot. Hello, Betty, Kimmy. Let me see. Uh, yeah, I have to just roll with it. Listen, it's. Whew. I would go crazy if I just didn't learn to roll with it. I have so much going on. Uh, like my studio looks a mess right now. I'm typically like you guys hear me talking all the time about cleaning up, cleaning up, cleaning up. And it's because I am like every other day I reclaim the studio. I put stuff up, then I start another project, and then that project leads to another project, and then I look up and it's like I've never cleaned up anything. So then I straighten up again, and in the midst of straightening up, I remember there's a project that I need to finish up. So I'll finish that project. And then I look up and the studio needs to be cleaned again. You know, it's just a never ending cycle. Have a good one, Kaylin. Yeah, I get really frustrated when I can't find something I know I have too. Like for especially when it comes down to the business aspect of things, because a lot of my business stuff is mixed into, like all of the like have fun painting stuff. And sometimes I'll mix stuff up or put stuff up. I've had projects that or products that I needed to unbox and review that sat in the studio for months because it got mixed up with the wrong stuff. All right, let's go ahead and try this real quick. Here we go. Three, two, one. So your next steps could be to just go ahead and go back in here and brighten everything up on your peppers. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some shadows real quick because it shouldn't take that long to dry at all. So I'm gonna mix a shadow color, of course. Trying to find an area I can give up that I'm not going to really care too much about here. It doesn't matter. We'll do it up here. I'm going for burnt sienna. And in this set is PR 101, which is what it is in most student artist sets. But if you're using professional paints, yours might be a PBR 7. If you're using a super budget set, yours might even be a PR 102. And I'm gonna throw some ultramarine in it, a little bit more because that pushed it to a burnt umber. I'm trying to push it to a Payne's gray. I can still see the brown in it, so more blue. There we go. That seems pretty inky. I'm gonna just test it real quick. Kind of weak, ain't it? Yes, indeed. It's kind of weak here. Let's get. How is that weak? It looks so inky right there. Yeah, that'll do. It'll do. Okay. It's kind of blue. It's a little blue for me. Alright, so how's this one laying down? Let's think about this now. Um, how are these laying down? They're laying flat with the light coming in from this direction. So we would have shadow coming this way and maybe just lift it up off the table a little bit. I'm gonna just kind of turn this a little bit. Maybe it'll be easier for you guys to see as I paint. And I'm trying to give it the impression that it's lifting off of the table just a little bit. Okay, okay. And let's see, it would be like this. Just a little sliver of white in that. I'm kind of having to think through this because I don't have a reference photo. I'm just kind of going at this. So I'm kind of trying to think through how the light would be hitting it, where the shadow would be, what would be lifted, what wouldn't be, and making sure to have that shadow dark enough so that you understand that that's a shadow. Shadow seems a little more. Okay, let's see. Now for this one, maybe it's laying a little bit flatter against the table. So you have shadow here, just ever so slightly. Because keep in mind this light is coming from that direction. And the only reason you would have that little sliver there is because that um it curves, and then light would engulf all of this, so you probably have a shadow along this edge. Now these paints feather a little bit on this paper, which is kind of surprising. But I'm not sure if I've ever used the Phoenix paint on this light wish paper. I don't think I have. So I put down the shadow, and then I'll go back and enhance the darkness of it. Let's see here. And there is, guess I'll do this one like it's lifted as well. So let's leave a white space there and just follow the shape, making it just a little bit bigger than the actual object because it's a shadow. And then the same thing down the opposite side, a little bit there in that curve, and then I'll just let that follow itself, getting a little bit bigger as it comes down, following the curve of the actual pepper, and then right on the tip there, just like that. I like that. I think that's very realistic looking. As far as the shadow goes, anyway. All right, it's not bad. Three down, three to go, and you can do as much to yours as you want to do. You can do as little to yours as you want to. That's completely on you. Okay, so the light is coming from this way. Now this is the tricky one. The light is coming from this one, so I definitely need shadow in here, like you would have it. Okay, and then I got that completely in there, and it would also be like sometimes this paint really does feather quite a bit. It's almost as if though it wants to resist this light wish paper. And this is not the first time I've seen a paint react like that to this paper. It might have something to do with the sizeness in this paper. There's another paper that does that. Fayez paper does the same thing. Like it seems like when you first put the wash down, it's almost as if though the paper wants to resist paint. But once you take your time, you can finesse it into place with no problem. And that's interesting because it's like the light would be hitting directly on the front of that. So I'm assuming that we would have a shadow back here for our stem. And for a painting this simple, if you're going for a bit of realism, you're going to achieve that with the placement of your shadows and how accurate they would be. If you're just painting to have fun, then it doesn't matter. What matters is that the overall image looks like a pepper, and you're going to automatically think spicy when you see a pepper. Just the way that goes. Okay, I kind of like that. All right. Um. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Let's see. This one would go this way with the shadow. I don't know about that shadow. I think they got a little wide. I think that one got a little away from me, but we're gonna. I think it's effective, so we're not gonna complain. Yeah, that one got a little wild. That's hilarious. And the width of your shadow helps tell the story of how bright your light is or how thick the object blocking the light is anyway. I hope this isn't extremely boring. I know it's extremely simple, but that was the whole point. Um, to show you how simple the prompts can be attacked. All right, and then we have this one. We'll say shadow. like so. And get that filled in. That's gonna pretty much add in all the shadow we need. And if you want to put some design in that tabletop to boost it from being, just completely simple, you could. You could put it on checkerboard. You could put it on whatever you wanted to do. I'm gonna leave mine like it is, but I'm just saying you could, and it would not be a big deal. And I'm gonna put that stem in there, leaving a little sliver of white so it looks raised. There we go. All right. See, that added another little level of realism to our peppers. We're gonna dry, and then we'll finish off our glazing layers and adding in our dip because we really lost. It shifted quite a bit. Here we go. So tonight, in Creation Station, we'll be tackling the next prompt. I have no idea what it is, or we'll be tackling a prompt because I still need to do some makeup prompts. And I'll show you guys how much progression I've made with all of World Watercolor Month tonight. But those shadows definitely added something to the overall mix. Okay, let's go ahead and knock out the rest of this. We're doing glazing layers at this point. I'm starting with our first pepper, which was a layer of this cad. And I'm going straight in, no wetness, leaving a layer of the original color completely exposed, right down the middle of the pepper. Let's grab the next step up in color, and we're going in, putting a pretty strong strip of this on the shadow side. If you feel that it's too intense, you can always blend out your color with that brush. I don't feel like I need to. add that darker color wherever you feel like. I'll say there needs to be representation for like a flat area, like a flat plane. I kind of want to push that color just a little bit more. And this is where you just kind of get to play around with and really get your peppers to kind of feel how you want them to feel. Just adding in a little that deeper orange color at the top there. Brushing a little of that in. This is all just helping with definition, cap separation. Again, we're painting something very simple. So all the little details, if you're trying to go for anything realistic-ish or anyway, makes a difference. All right, I think I'm pretty good with that. Let's knock out that cap real quick, going in for some deep. That's what we were using, hookers deep. I'm actually using directly from the tube, from the pan. Adding in that darker color, making sure it stands out. Because we're going to go in with that pen and add detail to that area once that completely dries. And I want to put a little bit of this brown here. Actually, I really want to make a more chocolatey brown here. Let's mix it with this orange. So I'm going to put some orange sienna in there, a little water, ultramarine until I get it to be a darker brown. I don't want it to go gray. I just want it to be a darker brown. Like that. And I'm going to dab that in right at the bottom where that cap where them V's are. It's going to really enhance. Dab it in on the shadow side. Okay. And I'm just blending it out a little bit up into the cap. All right, let's move on to the next one. I still feel like that's not luminous enough. I want to glaze that just one more time, real thin. All right, let's move on to the next pepper. This bad. I'm right now. I'm just doing it, just playing. This next one was orange, but we watered it down quite a bit. So let's get that glazing. Okay, the next color up is what we were using for shadow. We kind of went up pretty quick there. Going back down to that original orange. Blend that out in the shadow section. Um, Grab a T90 bit of that and go over and put a little bit there around that bend. Again, kind of show where there might be a flat, shiny area or something on the actual pepper. Like say that. These colors aren't like what am I trying to say? I'm not going too heavy with anything, but I'm trying to keep it luminous. Trying to make it make sense with the glazing. Okay, let's kick this up a notch. Just in the and I went way deep with it. I don't even care because all the colors are at this point blended. There we go. Let's do that top, which was olive. I think it was olive or a mixture of olive and something. I don't know anymore what it is. Oh, I know what that is. That's a mixture of olive and oh, what was that color we were using? We were using Gracias. Okay, that darker brown. I actually think that darker brown is gonna work best in here. I didn't mean to get that as wet as I did. I have to come back to that one again. Because it's so wet, I'm not gonna be able to get any detail at the moment. Yeah, I'll just wait and come back to this one. Alright, next one was this color. Punched up, punched down, punched some way. Yeah, let's put that in the middle so it looks like it's smooth. Let's see if I can pick that up and then blend back into that like so. Ugh, I'm just making careless mistakes at this point. And I think it's because I'm trying to go ahead and get done with it. Step back down to that vermilion. Take some of the paint off. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. We are an hour and 30 minutes in. We're almost wrapped up, though, truth be told. It's not too much to it, but to do it, I'm grabbing sap green straight from the pan and just doing a glazing layer over that. Cooper's green directly from the pan. Get some darkness in. Yeah, yeah. A little bit more darkness down there. I'm even gonna go ahead and grab some uh, gray and mix it into that. Go here and get those saturation down so we don't have to come back to that, And there we go. Excuse me. Next one we took a step up with, was it this color? That was the base. This was the next one. Okay. Actually, I think we skipped that one and went to this one. We did. So I'm gonna put another glazing layer on here. And we'll take a step up. Alrighty. I think I'm good with that. They look a lot better with the second pass than they did with the first. Let's go ahead and I'll come back to that cap in a second. Let's go ahead and knock these out because we're about done here. So I'm gonna go in with the glaze of this one. Okay. Feel like I want to put on more color there. So I'm going to. You put as much color in yours as you feel you need to. Keeping in mind it's wet, so it's going to shift. That's why I keep boosting the color. Right now I'm grabbing, this is where it gets a little complicated because instead of going up a color, I'm going to add ultramarine into this red. But again, I'm trying to keep it, there we go. Don't want too much water in it, but I definitely want you to be able to see a difference between colors. Nice. Now you may have much better results with professional paint, but I mean, I don't have an issue with Phoenix paints. I think the quality is actually pretty good. I mean, you could be using cotton and it would be the same. All right, let's go back over here right quick. What color was that we were playing with? I can't remember. Was that the straight olive? I think that it might have been straight olive. It was. So let's go back in here and glaze on a nice olive layer. My brush go directly into that Hooker's green deep without rinsing and add it into the shadow area and along the shadow end of my stalk. Some brown here on the top of that here as well. Some raw sienna in that. I'm gonna grab some olive green and literally paint over it. And we can go with our darker brown that we mixed. And we're gonna go in here and really edge out that shadow area, pinned in the stem. There we go. There we go. Not too bad. All right, let's knock this last one out over here, and then we'll put on some highlights. What color was this one? Which one was this? Was this one? I think it was this one. No, not quite. It was this. I think it was this one. Don't know. It's the same color. It could be. I know it has some alizarin crimson in it. It's possible. I'm almost dry brushing it, the truth be told. I kind of like that. Now let's add some dark into that real quick. Let's do a alizarin crimson. And I have to be careful because I don't want this to go purple. Let's add some of that red next to it and a little ultramarine at a time. Just a little ultramarine and that got purple. So let's throw some of that brown in there. And we should be dark enough to get us some shadow here. Yeah, that's nice. All right, let's go ahead and I think that was sap green for this one. So we're just gonna glaze over that with sap. These Phoenix paints aren't bad at all. Go in with some Hooker's Green Dark. This is a pretty cool palette, actually. And you can reconfigure it however you want to. Doesn't necessarily have to be the way I have it configured on the screen, of course. Okay, so at this point, you would want to kind of dry it and kind of take inventory of what you have and do you want to do anything else to it? Like, I feel this is enough. We've worked on this long enough for this to be almost a 2 hour painting. It's ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna dry this and then we'll darken up anything we need to with our fine liner, and then we'll put on some highlights. If you have any questions, any final questions, any final comments, anything you want to add in, throw out, don't forget to go ahead and put that in the comment section. I'm sorry, in the chat box. If you're still here hanging out, do let me know. How's yours coming along? Where are you on your spicy creation? And I'm probably just going to use some gel pens instead of bleed proof. All right, let's go ahead and take a. I'm going to go in and do just a little enhancement right quick. I'm going to grab this 0.35 fine liner and I want to go in redefine those caps like that. It's going to add a little bit more depth and shadow, and it's okay to use the pen because this is an ink and wash. Now, if you wanted to, you really, really, really could grab you some color pencils and really boost up the color in these. I mean, which is not a bad idea. It would really increase the coloration in them, and just you could also do this with a brown fine liner. But I am a huge ink and wash fan. I love doing ink and wash, especially doing Inktober, because it's a great way to do Inktober and use watercolor to pull it off instead of having to use a an ink-based medium. Just get you a nice set of black fine liners and make sure that you do everything ink and wash it. It's gonna turn out pretty nice. All right, that's that. Let me. I'm just darkening up some fine lines that I feel need to stand out again. And then I'm gonna grab some let's see. Mhm. This is gonna give it a little extra dimension because it's so simple. You could do some splatters. That would be really cool. Hmm. You could definitely do splatters. All right. And I like doing this because I think when it's super simple, this adds an extra element of kind of complication to your piece. Although it's a super simple thing, you're just drawing a black box around it. All right, and then we're finishing up with some fine liners. I use Uniball Signal, which is probably my favorite. And then I also use G Pen, which is a really generic brand, just really good. My Uniballs dry up really fast. I have to say that much though. These G Pens don't dry up nearly as fast. They're still full of liquid ink. I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's go with a point 0.6, which is the smallest. Or actually, no, you know what? Let's go big or go home. Let's go with a point 0.1. Why not? Light's coming in from this direction, so we would have highlights. Follow the curve. Okay. And then possibly out of that part shadow, this part would highlight here. Shadows there, so we have a nice one here. And same thing here. The highlight is hitting off the back. This is a pretty big nail that I'm doing all this highlighting with. I'm not even attempting to change the nail or use a different nail for this, should I say. Just want to make this one work. Sometimes you might have extra highlights that hit in certain areas. Okay, I like that. And this one is going to be more so along this line because of the way it's turned. And then you'll have a highlight here, possibly. And then you might actually get Although it's shadowed there, you might actually get a highlight on the top like that because of the way it turned. I don't know. It's there now. It is there now. Okay, then this one would be a highlight. So, and then the light's coming in this way, so it's possible that this one could get the same treatment on that end. And cutting out your peppers to do a spicy collage and drop the clippings on my cat. Now, I say, who is now extra mad and spicy? That's hilarious. Dropped it on the kitty cat, who is like, okay, I am not your drawing. Why am I covered in watercolor paint? And see, these G pens are great, dude. I love these things. They are. You looking for a nice white gel pen? They are so cheap. It's like three of them in three or four of them in the pack. They're called G pens. Well, the pack I bought had three, and you see these type of pens under a lot of different branding, but this branding just happened to be called G pen, and they work so good. Let me put my autograph on here. 726. All right. And there, friends, we have spicy, not a complicated painting at all. Actually, super simple, which gives you time to concentrate on making it as realistic-ish or as non-realistic-ish as you choose to. There are no rules. As always, the point for this painting during this month was to show you that you can tackle World Watercolor Month and the prompts pretty simply and straightforward. You do not have to go wrecking your brain trying to come up with elaborate art pieces. I mean, now, if you want to, absolutely you can. But World Watercolor Month is more about, practicing and growth. So if you just wanted to do sketches all month and not even try to put too much effort into them, that's fine. All that matters is that you did some painting. That's all that really matters. You can do as many prompts if you want to. You can do no prompts if you don't want to. Now, of course, this whole month I'm encouraging you to do the prompts, right? That I mean you have to. All right. So there we have it, friends. That's not bad at all. There you have World Watercolor Month, day 13, prompt spicy. And I think it turned out pretty cool. We got a nice progression of yellow into orange into red peppers there. They got a nice little sheen to them. So, yeah, hopefully you give this a try. I think it's pretty fun. It was pretty fun, should I say. You're about to paint your peppers. Hey, Tisa. Yes, it was fun painting peppers. Yeah, pretty simple. What is, I have no idea. What's the next prompt? What's tomorrow's prompt? Because whatever, do I need to do tomorrow's prompt? I'm trying to think what we're tackling tonight. I mean, you already know tonight inside Creation Station, we're going to be doing another World Watercolor Month painting. I'm just not sure. Now, I'll show you guys a really quick glimpse. Those people who won, if you won Palm Street giveaway, which was, and this time I really did a gouache painting. I didn't accidentally do a watercolor painting. So if you won these, this will be coming tomorrow. All of the packages ship, and hopefully all of the emails will are scheduled to come out as well for the free class. And it was done following a World Watercolor Month prompt, and so the gouache class, that's my dove for hope. And then that's the path. I did like this sort of watery path for what was it? I think the prompt was path. Yeah, after hope was path. Yeah, that's right. Um, and then this is the gouache painting that's being done for, I think the prompt was smoky. So I used Shinhan Professional Gouache and a little bit of bleed proof, but mainly Shinhan Professional Gouache. And put together this little quick gouache tutorial on how to paint smoky. So this is what's actually going to come out as the Palm Street giveaway class real time walkthrough. It's going to be real time. It's going to be narrated, but it's going to be real time. So yeah. Okay, so tonight is edible. Painted spicy, edible, and pickled together. Now that actually makes sense because technically this could have went for edible too. It really, it really does make sense. But hey, I like the way you're thinking there, girly. So edible. I was thinking of painting peppers for this prompt even before this. Yes, peppers, spicy. It just kind of makes sense, right? A little bit. Yeah. This is a look. I don't know if you guys have ever used one of these things. I love this thing. I got this in one of Christie's little trial boxes. It is called a La Pen Flex. Well, the pen line is called Flex. The name of the company is La Pen. And this particular one is called Flex. And it is such a cool little fine tip permanent black. I grab it for so much. It's so cool for illustrating. Okay, friends. So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed, enjoyed some of the stuff you saw getting laid down today on the channel. Don't forget to sprinkle a little love. Give the video a thumbs up. Behind giving the thumbs up, you can actually hype the video up. Hyping is going to help push that video in front of other wonderful viewers like yourself. Lets the algorithm know what to do and how to do it. Let's see. Jump in the comment section. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. If you're watching on replay, I will be more than happy to get around to answering those as soon as I possibly can. If you have any questions about the Phoenix Artist line of paints, this little twistable palette, Light Wishes watercolor calendar, any questions about World Watercolor Month, whatever you may have questions about, you can drop them there, and I get around to answering them as soon as I possibly can. Let's see. If you're new or returning and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell. And when you hit the notification bell, you have to hold it and then select all. Because if you don't change your notification selection to all, YouTube's AI is going to choose what to show you versus building your algorithm off of what you like to watch. Yes, this is true. So you need to select all so that that algorithm knows to start building your homepage and your feed off of the stuff you subscribe to and the stuff you have. Okay. Video description is going to have all of the relevant links. If you are not a member of the Creation Station, do check out the Patreon link. Check out the description for the Creation Station and give us a join. It is very, very economical and very reasonable and full of perks. There it is, my friend. economical, reasonable, and full of purpose. You can find the most recommended product list down there. You can find the artist wish list in case you want to send something to the studio. Trying to figure out how to put this thing back in here. Um, all of the social sites, the Defiant Art website, which I do need to update at this point. July is almost gone, but I do need to update the recommended video for this month on the website. But other than that, everything is good to go. I can't get this to go back in here all of a sudden. Maybe I'm putting it on the wrong side. Let's see. Yep, that was the case. But you know, sometimes trial and error. All right. Um, yeah, and now I'm just running my mouth trying to get this stuff put back in here. Like so. That's how that goes back in there, and then you just stack these big babies. Nope, that one shouldn't have gone there. That should go to the next one. Can I still stack it? No, it's not the first one it goes on. It goes on the second. But yeah, friends, there you go. I'm just playing around with stacking this thing back together, putting this stuff together. It's not a big deal. So I will see Creation Station tonight. Let me just look real quick. What is in store for tonight? Tonight we're going to be doing edible. Don't know what edible is just yet. I'll pop it up soon. Absolutely. Hey, absolutely. Thank you for always being so supportive. Thank all of you for always being so supportive and dropping by, saying hello, playing along. I'm really glad you guys enjoy the things that you see over here. But yeah, yes. Creation Station, I'll see you tonight at 6 p.m. Everyone else, I'll see you this upcoming Wednesday right here on YouTube for our regularly scheduled 11 a.m. release. And I am going to get off of here now and go work on Palm Street stuff so I can get it all up out of here. All right. Enjoy your day, friends. And remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep creating.